And welcome back to Comic Frontline, everybody. I am Brant Fowler, aka the Gonzogoose, back with you for another all-important comic book review. This time we're dipping into Marvel with a brand new #1 issue, Nova #1, the next volume in the epic Nova saga, if you will. And this time, it's not just about Sam Alexander. Richard Rider, the original Nova, is back. And this is the issue that kind of explores a little bit of him coming back, but he doesn't quite remember everything, or at least we don't think he remembers everything. He doesn't know what's been going on since he's been gone. Even though he was in the world mind talking to Sam, he doesn't really remember Sam, so that's interesting. So before I get too far into it, this is written by Jeff Loveness and Ramon Perez. Also, the art is done by Ramon Perez, colors by Ian Herring, and letters by Comic Craft's Albert DeChesney. Now, I mentioned the letter because one thing that really stood out to me in this book was the lettering, the sound effects, the font choices, the balloon styles like for Ego, the Living Planet, just some fun and dynamic lettering there. So I have to give, as a fellow letterer, I have to give my hats off to Albert DeChesney for that. So, moving on to the actual story. Like I said, the story is about Richard Rider coming back, but we also see Sam. Sam is in space trying to rid Ego, the Living Planet, of some kind of virus, and he does so by, well, I won't spoil how he does it, but he gives Ego a massive headache. We'll just put it like that. And who knows what's going to come for Ego in the future. It was kind of comical, a little bit over the top comical for Nova, but Nova always has some humor. The fun parts with Nova is when he comes back to Earth and he's late for school and has to go to school, because that's always the funnest part about Sam Alexander as Nova, is the stuff on Earth, and him trying to protect his secret identity and dealing with his classmates and his teachers and all this stuff. And it's funny, and there's a point where he forgets that he's not wearing any clothes underneath his Nova uniform, so he takes the helmet off, the costume disappears, and he's standing there by school in his underwear as all the students are walking by, including the new girl that he's like apparently attracted to. And he's like totally humiliated, embarrassed, and his friends are like, "You got to go talk to her, do it," and it's just, and he goes and talks to her, and he freaks out again, and he goes off, and then he realizes there's another Nova, and then we shift to the story about Richard Rider, who is at his mom's house, and he finds out his father has passed away, and he missed it, and he's trying to cope with things, and we see him look in the mirror at one point, and he sees the Cancerverse version of his mom, and it just freaks him out, and he's not totally in touch with reality yet, because we don't know how he came back, why he came back, what's going on, if there's something sinister at play here. We don't know anything like that. So later on he's like flying around his Nova, he's like, I missed that, and then all of a sudden he gets in excruciating pain and starts falling to his death, and that's how the book ends. And that's a minor spoiler. So we don't know what's going on with him. We know that Sam knows there's another Nova there, but he thinks it's his father. So he's out in search for this Nova, who is falling to his supposed death here, and I assume Sam is going to come in and rescue him next issue. Excuse me about that. So interesting introduction for Richard, and interesting reintroduction being #1 issue for Sam, and I thought they did that well. They didn't give you a lot of history of either one of these characters, but they gave you enough so you kind of get what's going on with both of these characters. I thought the writing was superb, if not a little bit over the top with the humor. They're just going in a little bit of a different direction than previous volumes. But I thought they got the characters dead on right. They added just enough drama and humor. They mixed it up. The art, now, this is an interesting art style for this book. We're so used to a very polished, very colorful, very vibrant style for Nova. In the past volumes we've seen with Sam Alexander, it's popped right off the page, and that's just the way it has been for Nova. And this is a completely different style. The quieter scenes in the book are very muted. They're earth tony, almost sepia tone, in spots, and the art style is a lot softer, a lot sketchier. And at first, I was like, this doesn't really fit Nova for me, and I'm not sure if I like it. And so I just kept reading, and as they get into the action scenes, the coloring just amps up, and the dynamic paneling of the characters in motion and stuff, it's actually really strong, and it's an interesting contrast to the quieter scenes. Now, while I'm still not totally sold on the art style for it, this is what we're getting for this volume of Nova. Um, I can understand the reason they went there, because this artist and this colorist together are able to give you varied looks in the midst of one book, and you have it's the same art style throughout, but they've changed it up to where when it needs to pop and when it needs to be dynamic, it does, and it pops up, and like the yellows and the blues are very vibrant, and they pop right off the page in a very different way than what we're used to with the Nova series. So it's going to take some getting used to this art style, but in a way, I think it kind of works, and it definitely works for the quieter on Earth with the friends and the family moments. It really fits that, and like I said, they're able to balance it somehow. So it's actually a pretty masterful art job when you think of it that way. I'm just not sure that I'm in love with the style just yet, so we'll have to see how it goes. But again, I thought this was a fantastic first issue. I thought it was a fantastic, like I said, reintroduction to both of these characters, and a way to balance the book between the two characters, because we know these are both in this book now, that didn't feel like you were cheating either one of them. That either one of them was the backup story here. So I love the way that they brought this issue together, from the writing to the art to the lettering, the entire package. I thought it was a fantastic book. So I'm gonna knock off a half point because I'm not sold on the art style quite yet, but I'm gonna give this a 4.5 stars out of 5 for me for Nova #1, part of the new Marvel now. But there you go, Nova #1, 4.5 stars from yours truly, the Gonzogoose. Thank you for watching the video. Check out all the other content we have here on Comic Frontline. Tune in on Tuesday nights, 9:30ish p.m. Eastern, for our weekly live show as we talk about our top 5s, worst picks, and so forth. Check out a new Airship 27 that will be posted later today, and a new Zone 4 probably in a couple of weeks. We're doing a Christmas skit. Check out LastSummerPress.com, Zone4Podcast.com, and stay tuned to my channel, Brant Fowler, because soon, maybe in the new year, maybe sooner, I'm going to start posting there and doing some things, but I'll keep you guys updated through the live show and through social media. So again, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.